Good luck out there to everyone taking the June LSAT. I hope that you crush it. At this point, the final week before the June LSAT, I'm typically getting lots of last-minute questions about LSAT test day and how to prep in this final week. First, I'll break down what LSAT test day looks like. For those of you taking the LSAT remotely, pens, pencils, mechanical pencils, highlighters are all totally fine. You can have with you 6 sheets of 8.5 by 11 scratch paper. It can be blank or it can be lined or graph paper. Lined and graph, of course, might be useful for logic games, but only use them if you've already been using them in your prep up to this point. And it has to be standard sized paper. It used to be there was a loophole. You could use legal size paper. LSAC has since closed that loophole since I publicized it, so only regular size paper for your scratch paper. But of course, 6 sheets, 12 pages should be more than enough. You can have any kind of drink with you that you want: water, tea, coffee, soda, all of them totally fine, but it's got to be in a clear container. And you can use soft foam generic earplugs to block out noise from roommates, the street, what have you, your family, friends, your dog who might be barking, anyone else who might get in the way. Now, if you're taking the LSAT in person, the rules are a little bit different. They will supply you with noise canceling headphones to block out sound from other test takers and from the proctor. They'll give you pencils, they'll give you scratch paper, don't bring your own. And if you want to have a drink with you, it has to be water and be in a clear container, so there's no risk or concern of you, say, writing any notes on your container itself. And of course, you'll be taking the LSAT on their device. It'll be a desktop computer. Don't bring your own computer with you. Don't bring your own tablet. You'll be using their device, but if one does not work, of course, they can supply you with another one. Now, as for what does LSAT test day look like itself, under standard timing, it'll be 2 sections back to back, 35 minutes each, a 10-minute break, and then 2 more sections back to back. That is with standard timing. If you have accommodations, it may look a little different. Hopefully, of course, you already know all of that, since hopefully you've been doing several timed practice tests in the lead up to LSAT test day itself. If you haven't, that's a different story. You may not feel fully ready and you may want to push back to a later test date. Assuming that you've done at least 5 or so practice tests, then you're in a pretty good place here. And I'd recommend maybe doing one more in this final week. Say you're taking the LSAT on Friday. Maybe you want to take the day before off entirely just to rest, relax, take it easy, whatever that means for you. It could mean a hot bath, a massage, going for a walk, getting outside for a bit, maybe binge watching Netflix, whatever it's going to help you unwind. If you want to study a little bit, if it would stress you out not to study, then of course, by all means, do a little bit of extra studying, but I wouldn't do too much. I don't want you to burn out. I want you to go in feeling fresh. Now, again, you're taking the LSAT Friday, hypothetically, you're relaxing Thursday. Maybe you do a practice test on Wednesday, but if it would stress you out and you're not sure how it'll go, then don't do it. At this point, it's really just about going through the motions so that test day itself feels like just another run through and you're feeling fresh and ready to go in there. If you take a practice test and the results are unusually high or unusually low, don't place too much stock in them in either direction. I always say, take the average of your most recent 5 or so practice tests, and that'll be the best indication of where you stand going into test day. And also know that not everything is riding on this LSAT test day, because of course you can always retake. You could retake the LSAT in August. That's totally fine and still apply at the very beginning of the cycle in the fall. Law schools do not penalize you for taking the LSAT multiple times. And for this reason, I always recommend that everybody retake the LSAT, for the simple reason that through luck alone, you could do a few points better. If so, fantastic. If you don't, no big deal, because law schools do not average multiple LSAT scores, but rather they only take the highest score. However, you should know that June is the last opportunity to take the LSAT with the logic game section. Starting in August, they are removing the logic game section and replacing it with a second scored logical reasoning section. So you might find that you do better on one version of the test than the other. And so this is your chance taking it with the games. August, you're taking it without the games and with that second scored logical reasoning section. Law schools will not care which version of the LSAT you took. They only want to see that high LSAT score out of 180. The highest of multiple takes is what is ultimately going to count. So trust in the prep you've done up to this point. Walk in there knowing that you're going to destroy this exam. And if for any reason you need to retake, my team and I would be glad to support you. And there are a variety of ways we can help. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below this video to find out more. and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. And if you are aiming for a 170 plus LSAT score on the August LSAT and you've already done some studying up to this point, please reach out. I'm looking for a couple of students aiming to do just that, but I do require that you have scored at least a 160 or above on at least one timed practice test and have a strong foundation in the basics of the exam. If this describes you, please book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.